In Demolition Man, the premise of the film had Sergeant John Spartan against Simon Phoenix, but mentioned in the film was the concept of the three seashells. Through dialogue, it was just mentioned as a bit of casual humor, but later it became something of a wonder or even debate from those who had seen the movie. But the speculative scenario is this: what were the purpose of the three seashells? In the movie, it was mentioned that John Spartan hadn't used the toilet since being de-thawed from the cryopenitentiary gao. Upon entering a facility, he quickly re-emerged and mentioned where the bath tissue was, in the lavatory. None of the other officers knew what he was speaking about. Spartan mentioned again where the toilet paper was, but no one still knew what he had meant. Finally, another officer mentioned how people used to use pieces of paper to clean themselves after excretion, and the other officers mentioned how barrack and even disgusting it was. And Spartan was even mocked about not knowing how to use the three seashells, as that was the method of cleaning that had become common throughout San Angeles. Due to the extremely vague aspects of the three seashells, a simple joke about a possible sanitation method in the future of California slowly became a serious question from some people who had seen the film, and became a question of popular film culture from the early 1990s. Years and decades later, it's still theorized and discussed from simple opinions to complex analogies. Through online discussions, a semi-official explanation for the three seashells were given. The theory said that there was no true official analogy for what the three seashells were. Instead, it was basically something conceived by screenwriter Daniel Walters when asked for help from another screenwriter he knew about what to come up with for a futuristic portrayal of the lavatory. A popular theory had it that there was no real explanation as to what the three seashells were, and that's a more simple answer. Further details though had it that due to how society was depicted in San Angeles, using paper or tissue to clean oneself after excrement was considered a waste of environmental resources, which tissue or paper was. Seeing how toilets still use water within them, speculations had it that all toilets in San Angeles were bidet-based units, and the three seashells were just cosmetic aspects that were actually buttons. Pressing these said buttons would simply give a degree of water expunged to clean the rectum upon defecation. The three seashells simply was about the strength of the water when used during the cleaning process. A variation of the environmental situation in San Angeles had it that the three seashells, being disposably based shells, had it that one could use the shells in a sort of scooping method to get rid of excrement out of the rectum using the shells. Depending on how many shells were needed, a person would simply use the shells, then dispose of them. What if more shells were needed? The person would simply get more, or resupply through other means to properly clean themselves.